Continuing on with our story today, Mary has just heard a voice in rich heavenly tones behind her. Startled, she leaps to her feet and whirls around to discover the source of this voice. As she turns, bolts of light strike her eyes. The brightness pulsates with life. It's radiant and supernal beyond anything she's ever seen on earth. At first glance, she shrinks back, frightened and shaking, but slowly her eyes adjust to the light until she can dimly make out a vague presence in the midst of the glory. The figure of a man enveloped in dazzling, living light. His presence stuns this 14-year-old maiden. With his arms folded over his chest, he speaks with the authority of one who has come from the presence of God. His eyes flash. Sparks seem to shoot from them, penetrating Mary's heart as he speaks. Greetings, you who are highly favored. The Lord is with you. Mary's face flushes and beads of sweat begin to run down the back of her neck. She stands trembling all over. What could this mean, she wonders. Then Gabriel explains, "Do not be afraid, Mary. You have found favor with God. You will be with child and give birth to a son, and you are to give him the name Jesus. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High. The Lord will give him the throne of his father David, and he will reign over the house of Jacob forever. His kingdom will never end." Mary can hardly think. Her throat tightens and she can't speak. Finally, her head spinning, she manages to stammer, "How can this be, since I am a virgin?" Suddenly the words of Isaiah the prophet flash before her. "The virgin will be with child and give birth to a son." Could this be me, she marvels, since I'm a virgin? With wide eyes she gazes at the angel, her face deeply troubled. What the angel says next is a mystery too fathomless to fully comprehend. The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. So the Holy One to be born will be called the Son of God. Mary's heart almost stops. The Son of God, she thinks, biting her quivering lip. With her mind still swirling, the angel continues, "Even Elizabeth, your relative, is going to have a child in her old age, and she who was said to be barren is in her 6th month. Elizabeth, she thinks with a sudden gasp. How can that be? For she's long past the age of childbearing. But the angel interrupts her thoughts with these stunning words of faith. For nothing is impossible with God. Mary hears these words, though she doesn't understand. She humbly bows her head and whispers, "I am the Lord's servant. May it be to me as you have said." Then as quickly as he came, the angel disappears. She rubs her eyes and ponders all the angel has said. This must mean that God has chosen me to bear the Messiah. The Son of God will be conceived in my womb. Oh God, this is too much for me to comprehend. Excitement fills her as she mumbles out loud, "I can hardly wait to tell Joseph. He will be so proud to be the earthly father of the Messiah." But then, slowly and imperceptibly, a dreadful thought forms in the back of her mind. It crowds its way into her consciousness. What if Joseph doesn't understand? What will he think when I become pregnant?